My first guest was appointed director of the Michigan Department of Transportation at the beginning of this year. MDOT is responsible, of course, for the state's 9,600 miles of highway. The department also manages transportation programs, including the state's passenger rail system and local public transit. Joining me now is Paul Ajegba, director of MDOT. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you.
So
glad to be here, Stephen.
So you have a pretty easy job these days, right? No issues, no challenges.
Not at all. All Nothing right. Keeps me up at night. I sleep like a baby.
All right. Let's start with what is on everyone's minds, which is the condition of our roads. Explain to the viewers why the roads are in such bad shape and why we're having this argument over how to fix them.
Well, I think we have to go back 40 years. Somehow along the way, we decided to stop investing in our infrastructure, and we kept doing a lot of bandage work, and now it's coming to the point where all these decisions that were made back then, it's catching up to us. If you really look at the governor's three main core focus of our budget is good roads, good schools, and clean drinking water. Mm-hmm. Who could be against that? Right. But we are at a point now where I want to take a step back again. In 2013, mm-hmm. we started, the legislature started this idea of the one-time general fund money infusion into our infrastructure mm-hmm. system. And at that time, our infrastructure condition was at 85%. 6 years later, with that infusion of one time, we're at 78%. Yeah,
it's going down.
It's going down. In 2 years, it'll be at 65% if we keep going in this direction. So the governor's point is, this is enough. Let's stop the shell game. Let's find a permanent source of revenue to start funding the roadways correctly.
Yeah. When I talk to people about roads and the money for roads, I hear two things. One is that people feel like they're already paying enough mm-hmm. In taxes and fees mm-hmm. and other things. The other thing I hear is that they are worried that giving more money mm-hmm. to government somehow won't fix the problem, because mm-hmm. somehow that money will either get wasted or it'll get spent on other things. It won't do what it's supposed to do. How do you answer those concerns?
Well, to me, it's simple math. Right now, Michigan is ranked last in our condition. We are 46 out of 50 states in spending per capita. When you have those kind of disparities in how you invest in your infrastructure, the result is what you see out there. Again, we have been doing a whole lot with less for a long time. We're doing a lot of bandage projects. Now it's coming to the point where some of those bandage projects, you can't bandage it anymore. You have to do the permanent fix, and that's the issue.
Yeah. Talk about the things that we are seeing get fixed now, even as the legislature can't come up with a permanent long-term funding solution. There is more money going to roads than there was before 2013, for instance. Talk about the things that we're seeing that are actually making things better.
Well, I'll give you a good example. I-75 in Oakland County. This is a project that freeway was built in the 60s. It's almost 60-something years old pavement. Yeah. We've patched and bandaged projects for a long time where it got to a point where you just can't do that anymore. You have to do the permanent fix. So we're investing quite a bit of money in that corridor. There are a lot of other examples of that kind of projects that needed to be done, but without the resources, it makes it very difficult to do that. Yeah. So what we end up doing is doing bandage projects, more bandage projects than really reconstructing projects. The I-696 project last year is another example of big projects that are out there that needed to be done.
Yeah. What about public transit? Your department is also involved in public transit. That's another frustration people have here in the state of Michigan. Not just can we grow our network so that maybe we look like other metro areas in other states, but also the infrastructure we have, the buses that we have. Talk about where we are with maintaining what we have and getting better?
Well, MDOT is a pass-through organization when it comes to
Yes.
public transit.
Federal money moves
through MDOT, and we pass it on to the local transit agencies. But one of the things I long for is a day where we can have good public transit all over the state, not just Southeast Michigan, all over the state. I was at a conference maybe about 5 years ago in Boston. When I got off the plane, I took a bus from the airport to downtown Boston for free. I wanted to pay. The guy said, no, it's free. You don't,
Just
you don't
get
have
on.
to pay. Exactly. So I had a meeting with Metro Airport folks about a month or so ago. They're longing for that. And I think collectively as a region, this is something that we all need to rally around.
Yeah. It's been really hard to get that going, and I don't think anyone understands why. It seems like a simple fix, but we can't seem to get it going.
What I think is pocket of communities that say, well, this doesn't benefit me. Why should I have to pay for it? Why should I have to be a part of it?
Yeah.
But again, to me, a rising tide lifts all boats. I think getting everybody to buy into the need for good transit system, and it's a good thing for the whole state.
Yeah. You're, of course, the director of the department all over the state. I wonder if you hear different things depending on where you are about what people are concerned about or how concerned they are. Are people in rural areas more agitated about the roads than people in metro areas like Detroit, or is there an east-west phenomenon going on?
Well, I think, to me, it's a universal problem.
Yeah.
The road issue is universal across the state. I love going up north Michigan in the summertime. I was in Marquette, Escanaba, and Iron Mountain, that whole area this past summer. They do have bad roads up there, too.
Yeah.
So, again, I think us as a state agency, we try to focus our resources everywhere in the state. But when you have very limited resources, you have to kind of focus it on more impactful areas.
Yeah.
In the governor's proposal, she did say, let's focus this money on the highly traveled economic impact corridors. We will do that, but we're also going to be addressing the other corridors as well in the other areas of the state.
Yeah. Back to the governor's proposal, which now seems like it won't happen, this 45-cent addition to the gas tax. I wonder what you make of whether that would have generated enough money to do the things that you know need to be done, but also whether it would have sustained funding. You think of the number of cars that are using less gas. You think of cars that don't use gas at all. I just bought a car for my son that is a hybrid. It gets 48 miles per gallon. Was that the right way to take care of the things that you need done?
Well, first let me say, the optimistic side of me says it will happen.
Yeah. You still think that's a possibility?
Yes, that's the optimistic side of me. I really believe so, because again, there is a need for it.
Yeah.
But I think part of what the governor has said is that this is just an immediate need. She's going to appoint a panel. In 5 years, we'll do a check. Because her funding proposals for 10 years to get us back to the 90% goal. In 5 years, the panel will make a recommendation, because you're right. We have electric vehicles, hybrid, and fuel-efficient vehicles all out there now, which is going to suck money away from the gas tax. Sure. So how do we address and adjust moving forward so that that 10-year goal is still achievable? And that's been part of her proposal all along. The 45 cents gas tax proposal is to raise $2.5 billion.
Right.
The governor's always said, if anybody else has a better idea on how to raise $2.5 billion, then let's do it.
Yeah.
But the idea of waste, fraud, and abuse, we're going to get $2.5 billion out of that, I think it's proven to not be the case.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was really great to have you here, and good luck with all of the complicated work that lies ahead for you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.